Hi, my name is Mandolin Royal, and I'm here for Tornado's Thursday update. And I've collected everyone from his pen. I've weighed them. I've got them positioned here in our viewing cages. I got the rest of the flock all fired up while I was catching them. We're going to start with the numbers. So that pullet, she's right now at 21 weeks old, and she only weighed in at 4 pounds, 5 ounces. And she started laying 4 days ago. We've gotten 3 eggs so far. So she's about done growing. She's not going to do much else. Tornado, he's at 15 weeks now. He put up a 7-ounce gain to reach 6 pounds, 5 ounces. And his older friend now did a 6-ounce gain, 6 pounds, 3 ounces. So far, Tornado's still tracking ahead of his new buddy. We're going to start by looking at this pullet. I know this update is supposed to be about Tornado, but it's more interesting if I cover some other things. My least favorite thing about her, after having time to watch, is how narrow her back end is. There is not much of a tail spread in there. And when I handled her for weighing, I could feel that she was a pretty little bird. I'm gonna see if I can position this to where we can see the back of the tail. But basically, those feathers on either side of her tail are touching each other. That's nowhere near open enough. So even though she has pretty cute little white earlobes and reasonable shape, she's not quite heavy enough, and she's too pinched up in the back. So I'm pretty sure she's going to be hanging out for breakfast eggs. But as an example, just for fun, if she was the only female I had, I wouldn't have a choice in hatching from her if I was going to hatch some more from what I had. So that begs the question, between these two boys, which boy would be better for her? So here we have Tornado. He's panicking in here because the other guy is. He's getting a lot of his cues from him. Why? You don't have to be worried. He's still a baby deep down. Yeah. You're freaking out over nothing, buddy. So Tornado already has well-established growth rate. And he is wide as wide can be. He's not gonna get really white earlobes, but because the female has that, that's not something to really worry about. But what she lacks in table traits, he more than makes up for. When I feel underneath, along his keel bone, you really can't feel the keel bone. Everything in here is meat. He's got a large, boxy body cavity. Yeah. He might be able to help her quite a bit. Now, if you want to check undercarriage width, and you have a reasonably tame bird, you can put your hand in a fist and go in between here. And if your hand goes right through there, that is plenty wide enough. I wouldn't even be trying to make them wider than that, because then they're going to start getting pretty wonky looking. there's a balance that you have to maintain. You can't keep putting bigger with bigger with bigger with bigger, because then you end up with the same flock problems some of the other big breeds have. They might have to add bone density, which adds to the grow time. They might have to add height. They might have to add additional structure growth. And you can start finding yourself with longer wait times because they have such an incredible amount of growing to do. So this is Tornado's older buddy. Temperament-wise, he's more than reasonable. He's been great with the pullet. He's been great with Tornado. He's a little jumpy with me, but I didn't go out of my way to make friends with him. So like I had mentioned last week with him, he's got that little feather flaw in the hackle where they're a little curly. He does have white earlobes coming in. He has a darker leg color. His leg color is darker than either of the other birds here. Though they have been getting darker, which is weird. Normally, that trait shows pretty early, but this pullet and Tornado are doing it as late bloomers. But this guy, from this angle, his structure is actually really decent. But it changes when I get my hands on him. He's a little bit more narrow in the body, and he doesn't have that same fleshing that I can feel on Tornado. So outwardly, he looks like the better choice for the pullet. But once you get your hands in there, he's not the better choice. You gonna let me fill your belly, or are you gonna freak out? He doesn't want to. But I already did handle him when I was weighing. And he's a lot more narrow in the underside. His tail spread's pretty good. If I can get him to show. That's a pretty decent tail spread. But once you get to feeling on the bones, that's where you can feel the difference between this guy and Tornado. I don't think he's in the right feather growth phase to show us tail spread. Oh yeah? Can you turn around? Let us see your backside. You have a lot of feathers to grow in, buddy. Maybe we can see that next week. He is blowing through feathers. They're falling out left and right. They're growing in all over the place. He's got a lot going on. But he is so meaty. You can feel it. Always, always, always get your hands on birds. Outwardly, they might not look that different. But once you get in there, you can feel it. Getting a weight will tell you a lot, but it doesn't tell you quite as much as handling the birds. You want to camp there and be a good boy? If you've been watching our other videos, you know I've got a broody in here. And we're at a whopping 33 degrees right now inside of this barn. It's sort of insulated, but it is not heated. I don't have a whole lot to say about her right now, so we'll just tack her on the end of this video. She's utilizing the heat lamp for sure. And she has 3 babies at 3 weeks old running around with her. And they're doing great. I think she should go with Tornado next season. Then we could put some broodiness in with some growth rate. I think I'm a fan of that idea. They're pretty cute. But I've got a mountain of chores left to do. I've got to organize turkeys for Thanksgiving. They're not going to be too happy about that. And I'm not going to do a video on this coming Thursday, since it is going to be a Thanksgiving. We'll give Tornado a little bit of a break. So I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. I've got a lot of catching up to do, a lot of stuff to do. But feel free to like and subscribe. That way when I'm back at it, you won't miss anything. And we'll see you then.